Hello and welcome to my video blog for Sunday, November 14th. You know, it was Shirley Temple who once sang the song On the Good Ship Lollipop. Remember that little tune? It was a song about decadent, sweet little nothings. Well, I was reminded of that song in that passengers on Carnival's cruise ship Splendor didn't quite get the decadent, sweet version. They somehow got stuck with the pigtail version of the Shirley Temple classic. Now, the cruise ship was in the news because there was a very big fire in its engine room, and the fire caused the ship to just totally lose power, and it pretty much became inoperative, and they had to have things shipped in. You know, like some supplies in order to keep the crew and the passengers all happy and moving along as a tugboat happened to pull it back to the coast and back into San Diego. So as that is all happening, Carnival Cruise Ship Line said, you know, let's see what we can send into this ship, and that they have nothing. I mean, they have no power, people aren't able to cook, and it's pretty uncomfortable circumstances. So it struck me as quite odd that out of all the things they could have sent, you know, like maybe some peanut butter and jelly for the kids, maybe some gas grills to, you know, so that somebody could possibly cook on deck, or maybe call in and place an order over at Domino's because you know they deliver, and they could have had things airlifted over. But out of all those options, somebody actually chose to send Spam. Really? Spam? I mean, when was the last time you ever went on vacation and said, you know something, honey, I can't wait to hit the buffet table and get a case of that Spam? Or when was the last time you ever decided, you know, I don't feel like Italian tonight. Let's go have that other pink meat. Spam. It has never happened. So Carnival Cruise Ship Lines, hey, it's great that you brought the passengers back in. It's really even awesome that you're even going to give them like another free trip in the future. But Spam? Let's keep that option off the table for the next time, okay? Now, there was another travel trip that everybody was talking about this week, and it happened to involve our president, and that he finally made his way to Indonesia. Now, that trip started off pretty jovial, and that we saw some really cute images of him and the First Lady doing a Watusy with some kids out there dancing. Like, that was really cute. But by the end of the trip, things got pretty dicey as he made his way to the G20 summit. Now, this whole summit seems as though it was going to start off like a scene from Casino Royale. You know, that James Bond movie where it's going to be this high-stake game of poker, but really didn't quite happen that way. Once he got there and things got rolling, it pretty much turned into a high-stakes game of world monopoly. Now, in this game of world monopoly, out of all the people who seem to be getting ahead, it seems to be China. Yes, China. Because the president has brought it to our attention that China, it happens to be the banker, the high-stakes player, and the schemer behind the scenes. Now, what China is probably maybe, and yeah, doing, is they happen to be manipulating their currency by keeping it pretty low. And the reason why they're able to do this is because they happen to be snatching up more of our currency out on the market. So here it is. They're lending us money, and as they lend us money, they happen to be going out and then buying up our currency out on the market. And then as they happen to be doing this, they happen to be lowering the value of their money. Now, why are we flooding more currency out there? Well, because our economy is pretty shot right now. And the Fed is trying to produce more revenue in order to keep things stimulated and going. So it's this big vicious circle that China is pretty much taking advantage of. You know, they're kind of working the system. And China's probably sitting back and saying, you know, hey, Mr. President, don't hate the player, hate the game, because everything in which they're doing is perfectly legal. So all this does is just puts more pressure on our deficit commission, and that somebody's going to have to make some pretty tough choices. What are those choices? Well, we got plenty of things on the table, like there's been talk of maybe raising the age of Social Security, maybe, you know, re-examining these tax cuts as to who's going to get them. Is it going to be the rich? Is it going to be the poor? Is it going to be the middle class? I mean, who's going to get these tax cuts? And then there's also talk about maybe cutting some Pentagon spending or eliminating refunds on real estate. I mean, all kinds of things have been thrown out there. But, you know, right now, China and Japan wants their money, because those options seem like long-range goals. And right now, we need some right now money. So that may mean that America may have to go out and get a second job. Yes, America may actually have to hit the pavement and get a second job. Maybe pick up a shift over at Home Depot, Walmart, maybe do the breakfast shift over at McDonald's. I don't know. Speaking of McDonald's, you know, I had to tell you that Burgermeister is alive and well, and he is living in San Francisco, and he's got some friends. Now, who is Burgermeister? Burgermeister is that cartoon character from the animation Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And it was Burgermeister who put into action that there were to be no toys in the land, and that he was taking all the toys away from the kids. And all the kids were all upset, and it was up to Santa to keep trying to deliver toys in, and the Burgermeister had pretty much outlawed the toys could not be in existence. Well, the same thing is kind of happening today. And it's happening with these Happy Meals, another fast food menu options where they're giving little prizes to kids. But there is this city board of supervisors in San Francisco that's pretty much putting out a ban. They're outlawing it, that fast food chains cannot have toys if it doesn't meet the nutritional standards that they have set. So this seems like a little bit of a perplexion to me, because, you know, I understand that they're trying to look out for kids, and the whole thing is to maybe, you know, re-examine healthier lifestyles in order to promote that. But if you think about it, toys are activity, right? I mean, kids get toys, and the whole point is once they get toys, they start playing with them. They start doing things. So if you're going to take the toys out of the meals, doesn't it mean that here it is, these kids are going to start eating these fattening meals, and then now they don't have a toy. Now they're just going to sit there after they've ate that fattening meal, and that seems to be pretty counterproductive. If anything, put more toys into the meals so they get a little more busier and more active. I mean, isn't that what it's all about? So maybe they ought to rethink that strategy. Maybe do a little bit of reverse psychology, you know, something to think about. Now, something else that was quite puzzling was this strange object that was up in the sky. Remember that? That red plume of smoke, and then everybody was wondering, what is it? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? And basically the response was, well, I don't know. Nobody knew. I mean, you've got to really think about it. When our top scientists go on national television, when the Federal Aviation goes on television, when the Pentagon sends out a release statement, and everybody looks up in the sky and they all say, well, I don't know. That doesn't mean we have been informed. That means we are screwed. And that's something to think about. And I'd like to extend a thank you to all of our veterans. And I'll see you next time.